When the puck drops on the NHL's 2025-26 season, 9 of the league's 32 teams will have new head coaches, including 8 of last year's 16 non-playoff teams. So today we're going to rank the 9 new head coaches in the 2025-26 NHL season. Hey everybody, welcome in to Clearing the Benches, your one-stop shop for hockey content. If you go ahead and hit your subscription button right now, you'll be sure to be in on all of our future videos. The NHL coaching carousel has been spinning out of control. Over 25% of the league is going to have a new coach next season behind the bench. And when we look at this list, I've ranked it from what I think are the not so best fits up to number 1, the best fits. I'm not going to put 9 Dallas on that list because they were a playoff team and I think they're that much closer. So when I do look at the Dallas Stars, I think Misha Donskov is going to be their next head coach. He's 48 years old, and he was the former head of hockey operations for the Vegas Golden Knights for 3 years. He was there before the expansion, and he helped build that roster. He was then promoted to Vegas assistant coach, and he spent 4 years behind their bench before joining the Stars in August of 2023. When I see the other possibility for Dallas, and this is a guy, if you watch my videos, you know I love this guy, and that is Jay Woodcroft, former Edmonton Oilers coach. He, in my opinion, did a great job there, but he just went up against big-time juggernauts in the playoffs, and he could not get the big prize won for Edmonton. So I have Dallas as number 9, but again, they were a non-playoff team, so I think whatever coach steps into their position is going to have a real good chance at succeeding. Now, when I look at the rest of the guys that were hired, number 8, Joel Quenneville. The last time he coached in the NHL was a couple of years ago, and when he really made his name as a head coach in the NHL, he had guys like Patrick Kane, Taves, Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, and now you're going to guys like Trevor Zegras and Frankie Vetrano. I know they've got some young, good talent, but that talent's still a couple of 3 years away. Even a guy like Mason McTavish, who was really killing it coming out of juniors, and he jumped pretty much right into the NHL. He hasn't exploded into that superstar that you would expect from a guy who was drafted so high. He's also going to be in California, and that politically incorrect baggage he's going to bring with him could possibly rear its ugly head in the future. Number 7, another one's a head scratcher for me, Jeff Blashill, Chicago Blackhawks. While he was in Detroit, he got to the playoffs once in 7 years, and that was his first year there. So you're kind of taking over somebody else's team. He's only 51 years old, so maybe he's learned and now he's ready to take the next step as a head coach. But in Detroit, not very impressive numbers, 204, 261, and 72. So we'll see what he does. You know, they've got a big-time high draft pick in Chicago. You still have, a lot of young talent coming up, but I don't know if Blashill is the guy that's going to take them to the next level. Now, the next 2 guys are coaches that I am very unsure of how it's going to work out, but I like them as coaches, and I think these are good fits for them. Number 6, Lane Lambert in Seattle. First thing he's got to do is he's got to get guys like Matty Beniers and Shane Wright on the right track. Wright had 44 points last year. Beniers had 43. In my opinion, Beniers has kind of taken a step back, and Wright's just kind of gotten stale. They do have Berkeley Catton coming probably this year, and he is prolific scorer. I think right away in a year or so, he's going to be a better scorer than both Wright and Beniers. Lane Lambert is a very, very intense guy. He had a good record as head coach of the Islanders. It's just they're in no man's land. He was 61, 46, and 20 behind the Islanders bench. So I think Lane Lambert is a good fit for the Seattle Kraken. Marco Sturm in Boston. Really, you're not sure what to expect, but you know that any guy on his team, he's going to expect them to put a big-time effort forth. He was a very, very hard-working player. He's good with kids. I know that you've only got the 3 pillars still standing there in Boston in Pasta, Charlie McAvoy, and Swayman behind between the pipes rather. But when I look at a guy like Marco Sturm, I think he is good with kids. 119, 80, and 6 in Ontario. And just as a side note, he is going to be the first NHL head coach from Germany. Number 4 on our list, Mike Sullivan to the New York Rangers. He coached in Pittsburgh, he won his 2 cups, and then the Penguins seemed to get old and stale while he was behind their bench in the last 3 years. My opinion on this, it's a coin toss. Could work, maybe they win the cup, he could be fired in 3 years. In New York, it seems like you just get hired to get fired 3 years later. I don't know, I'm not so overly excited about this hire as a Ranger fan. I would have personally rather had Dan Muse and ironically, swapped spots with Sullivan in Pittsburgh. But I have Mike Sullivan listed as number 4 on our list. Number 3, and I think this is a good fit, Adam Foote in Vancouver. When he played, he was a stay-at-home D. He was very, very much like their previous coach, Rick Tocchet. Very gritty, not afraid to fight. He was a team-first guy, and he led by example. So the first thing that I think Adam Foote's going to have to do is change the locker room dynamic there. He's going to have to figure out that Pettersson situation, the Besser situation, if they even have those guys when he takes over. His previous head coaching experience, was for a year and a half as head coach of the Kelowna Rockets. So I think he's going to demand a big-time effort. I think that Vancouver could take a small step ahead this year, but moving forward, I like that hire. And number 2, we just mentioned him, Dan Muse to the Pittsburgh Penguins. He should have been the next New York Rangers coach, in my opinion. He develops young players. He was the head coach at Yale, and they won the NCAA championship back in 2013. The Penguins are about to make the transition from old to young. He's really good developing young kids. So I think in a few years, maybe 2 years, the Penguins are going to be sniffing around the playoffs once again. And I think the best hire on this list is Rick Tocchet to the Philadelphia Flyers. Just what Philly needs. He's tough. He's going to demand a big-time work ethic. He's going to demand physicality. And they're bringing back an old fan favorite. They just re-signed guys like Forrester and Cates. So I think the Flyers have got a bright future ahead of them with Rick Tocchet. So there you have it. There are the 9 new head coaching hires in the NHL, and we rank them for you. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, what you think of these head coaches, how you think the teams are going to work out for them, with these guys at the helm. If you could, please hit your like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And as we always do here at Clearing the Benches, let them know you're out there.